Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Michael, aka Mr. Drake Business, and I am your credit CEO. Back at it again with another one. You see the title, you see the thumbnail. We about to get into like a sensitive, really sensitive subject. My boy Dave sent me a video, and it was a video of this guy spending all of his retirement without his wife knowing. And when I first heard that, I was like, bruh, how can you do such a thing? But there's kind of a twist to it that I really want to talk about. So let's get into this video.
I've been married for almost 30 years. And I'm 62 years old. And so is my spouse. After we had children, sort of the division of labor, if you will, was I took care of everything but the finances. I took, the household, the children, and everything. And he was to paid the bills and has done that all of these years.
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. Just note, like, she take care of the kids. He take care of the bills. The kids are grown now, but he's still taking care of the bills. All right. Just remember that.
Unfortunately, I've recently learned of some pretty catastrophic, devastating financial information that he's had 3 huge job losses. They were all well-paying jobs. Mm-hmm. He did invest in a 401k. I've never been sure about how much was in there. I think it might have been maybe $170,000. Mm-hmm. It's gone. Each time he's had a job loss, it's been a 2 or 3 year gap in between because he refused to take anything other than an upper management position. And I've learned he's spent retirement savings
during those years to keep you guys going.
Hey man, that ego will get you every time. So basically, he wanted a higher management position and he kept getting laid off because the economy sucked. And it sucks because now you don't have a long-term track record with just one company. It's part of the reason why I joined the military.
What did you think can I just ask, when those timeframes were happening, where did you think the money was coming from?
Well, I asked him, and to be frank, he's got a lot of major management issues.
Okay.
I've always pressed to try to have a household budget. I was debt-free before I met him. I had accumulated $30,000 in retirement myself. Mm-hmm. And anytime I would press it, I became fearful because he would get terribly angry. Yeah.
But if you had to...
Fearful of your husband after 60 years? Hey, ladies, chime in. But I do understand, I don't understand. I can probably understand why he would do that. When a man can't provide, bro, it's like the worst thing. It's one of the worst things that can happen to us. Because if your whole job is to provide, that means you're failing your job and you're failing it over and over and over. Now he's being let go from these companies because no fault of his own. You know what I'm saying? He just have a senior level position that will get axed anytime they need to make budget cuts. And she's asking about it, but it's hard to find one of those positions. You know what I'm saying? Like entry level is easier to find, but he had to take care of the whole family.
Ask yourself, where did you think the money was coming from? Did you have something in your heart that you thought, oh gosh, we're probably on credit cards, or we're probably on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In my heart for sure. But he just kept saying, quote, relax, quote, everything's fine. Don't nitpick me. We're fine. And he just kept saying, you wanting to do this budget and asking me these questions is showing me you don't trust me. Well, apparently I had reason not to trust him.
Of course.
Yeah, for sure. When did you find this out, Beth?
About 2 months ago.
Okay. And there's no money in the retirement. And it's because, I just want to clarify, that he's been spending it throughout the years. Or did he take a massive withdrawal and spend it in the last year?
He's been spending it throughout the years.
Okay. So he's just been dwindling it down. And now you guys are 62 and you don't have anything retirement-wise.
Well, not only that, but he had accrued, as the financial manager of our family, he had accrued about $80,000 in credit card debt. Okay. And in 2016, we did a cash-out refinance on the house to pay it off. He promised this would never happen again. And then in 2016, I became very ill. I wasn't expected to survive. I had no idea what's been going on since 2016 with our finances. And now praise the Lord, I'm recovered enough to work part-time, but that's all. And in all this time, his most recent job loss was 3 years ago, and I finally convinced him to sell cars. So he's selling cars.
How many cars do you have?
No, he's selling cars at a car lot.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Yeah.
To make money, yeah.
Dang,
He
60
wouldn't get a job before, but now all of a sudden, 6 months ago, he said, okay, I'll sell cars.
So today, what is the financial snapshot? Is it still the $80,000 in credit card debt and that's it? Or give us a today picture of what's going on.
Yeah, we paid that off with the cash out refinance back in 2016.
Okay, so then tell us.
Then we now have $126,000 in debt, new debt, since the $80,000 was paid off.
And is that more because of the mortgage, the refinance, or is this consumer debt?
Consumer debt.
Okay. Break that down for me. What does that consist of?
I've had to do a lot of digging here. I took some notes.
Dang.
There's a $77,000 in credit card debt.
Is that in his name or your name?
$30,000 is in mine, and $47,000 is in his.
Okay. Now I want to think to myself, how do you get $30,000 in debt, and then how did he get $40,000 in debt when he's paying all the financial bills? So that means that you are $30,000 in debt just buying stuff for whatever reason. I ain't trying to blame you for anything, but I can almost guarantee that his money went towards bills and other financial things, especially since he was out of his job, because the bills still got to get paid, right?
Okay, keep going.
And then he got his sister to co-sign a HELOC on the house for $50,000, and now that's all gone too. So in total, it's $127,000.
And real quick, let me ask: where did the $50,000 and the $77,000 of credit card? What did that go to? Was that just lifestyle because he's been out of work for 3 years, and you had a health issue? Like, was it going to bills and keeping food on the table?
Yeah.
Okay. So that explains where the money went. He's not a bad guy, I don't think. But it's crazy that she's calling up here and she's suggesting that he ain't holding up his part of the bargain. But it seems like the overarching thing is they're paying debt to try to survive in a bad economy. It's not like he's a bad person or a bad money manager. Like when he had a job, it seems like they was up. But when he lost his job, they went down. Well, let's continue because it might, we got some more video to go.
And can you
honestly, he was not a very good money manager, and every time I wanted to have a budget. Yeah.
Well, no one was. Well, I want to call that out. Neither of you were good money managers. But I also, before we move on, can you tell me about the house? Can you tell me what you owe on the house and what it's worth?
Yeah. See, I think I wrote that down. We paid $390,000 10 years ago. Now I think on Zillow it's between $800,000 and $850,000.
And what do you owe on it still?
That's a good question. I thought I wrote that down here. I think we owe, because of the cash out refinance and the HELOC, about $360,000.
Okay.
Bro, what?
Okay. So the good news is you still got a ton of equity in it. You're no longer together. Are you no longer together? What's happening here? It sounds like somebody that you would no longer be in a relationship with unless you're doing deep work to fix this. So what's taking place with the relationship?
Trying to do the deep work for 30 years, and I've realized that it hasn't changed.
Yeah, Beth, so this would be a scenario which doesn't happen often, but you're a 62. He is lying to you. He is an angry person that you can't breach a subject with, which is not just money, Beth. This is an insight picture into the marriage, right? And so this is your entire life. And this is a time I would say I would have my own money.
100%.
I would get your own checking account, which we rarely say this. We're the show that's the opposite. But in a situation like this is when things come up that literally he's driving you guys with his pattern of behavior over 30 years with no flag for change. It's going to continue to go down this lane, and that's not going to be healthy for you. And so if I were you, Beth, I would talk to him and say, until trust can be built back and I see a new pattern, we're separating our finances, because it's a symptom of how our marriage has been. And again, we don't have time to dive into that. But Beth, if you will stay on the line, Kelly's going to pick up, and I'd love to put you with a financial coach because there's so many things to untangle here, not just from the financial perspective, but also the relational perspective. And Beth and I want you to be protected. I do. And this is really difficult, and I'm so sorry. And I hate that we don't have the time on the show to dig into more. But if you hold on the line, Kelly will pick up. But I'm so glad that you called.
Big screen. All right, man. I was listening to them talk, and it seems like something's not quite adding up. How can you separate your finances when you don't have any finances to bring to the table, like as a wife? But after 60 years, like, what else she gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh boy, he's selling cars, whatever. But I want to address this, and you guys can go back if you want to. What if he was spending most of the majority of that money for her medical treatment? Now, would that look a little different if he was spending his money on her medical treatment? Because remember, she was definitely ill. Like, she was literally going to pass away. And for the grace of God, like she said, she survived. Now, what type of medical bills do you think is going to be coming from that? And also, they have a house as an asset that they could have sold off, but they didn't for whatever reason. I don't know many men that wouldn't downsize, especially if they know they can't get things in order. It's something like superficial that I think, that's just me, that a woman would not want to downsize to a smaller house because they 60 something, bro. Like that's the downsizing time. You supposed to downsize into a little apartment because your kids grown up and then sell the house or something like that. But they didn't do it, and I'm wondering why. And the fact that she can't bring finances up is a big red flag. And the fact that he's getting mad that she's nitpicking means that she's nitpicking a lot. And for somebody who's not bringing anything to the table as far as finances, when the kids are gone and everything, all that is taken care of, is really, really annoying to a man, especially for somebody who's supposed to handle the finances. And if we're out trying to get the leadership position that we deserve, the leadership position that we want because we think we deserve it, whether or not, he's still 60 something getting out there and working. But the bills are still piling up, and it's on both of y'all because there's no way he has access to all the finances like that. And there's no way that you're not spending any money as his spouse. Me and my wife set up a joint account or whatever, and we spend money. And then once we look back at how much money we spent, it's a lot of little transactions that normally happen on the woman's side. It's a lot of big transactions that happen on the male side, from my opinion and my situation. So with all that said, man, what y'all think about the video? Drop y'all comments down below of what y'all think happened and what's going on. YouTube is going to suggest that you subscribe right here. Subscribe for more content, and it's going to suggest a video that you're going to love right here. My name is Michael, aka Mr. Drake Visions, the Credit CEO. We out of here. Until next time. Peace.